Finding a winning design is really, really hard. Like really hard. Don't worry, you're not alone. The issue is once you've found that winning design, you need to then do it again and again and again. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact system I use to adapt best-selling designs and make tens of thousands of dollars every single month from simple t-shirts. You'll be able to replicate this process over and over again. And if you're thinking, well, Shimmy, I haven't got any winners yet. I haven't got that first winner. Well, don't worry. With this genuinely foolproof strategy, you won't need to have a winner already in the bag. I've got you. I'm going to show you ways that you can find winners so that you don't need to have your own. Now, to start with, we need to understand the strategy. To put it simply, we're going to be taking proven designs, meaning designs with sales data, and we are going to be analyzing them, using AI to describe them, and then we are going to tweak it to eventually be able to create something that is different, but also the same, right? But also different. It sounds weird, I know, but stick with me here, because trust me, this is going to be game-changing for you. Right, so to start with, we're going to have to analyze your sales data and see, which one of your designs has sold best. But hold on, you just said that I don't need to have any sales to do this. Well, you don't. Okay, and let me just quickly show you very, very, very quick and easy free ways to see if something has sold a lot. You don't need to pay a monthly fee for a tool to do this either. You could do it totally free. I'm going to show this to you, and then we're going to go back and I'm going to show you the whole strategy. So the first way is to head over to Etsy. Obviously, put your niche in, sort by star seller, change it in the URL to bestseller, and then when you can sort by best-selling designs, and you'll see, you click on one that you like, by the way, and you'll see the reviews here, right? You want to make sure the designer has reviews under this item tab, right? Great. So we can see that this item has 812 reviews. Now, every shop will have a different review percentage, meaning the number of people who buy those products that leave a review. And it can differ from shop to shop. It could be 3%, it could be 30%. A lot of the time, it's on the lower end. What we can do is go to their actual shop page. We can see how many sales they've got. So in this case, 61,755. And we can see how many reviews they've got, 14,595. And all we need to do now to find their review rate is divide the number of reviews by the number of the sales times 100. And it's about 23%. But maybe use a calculator if you want. So considering this shop, Daisy Apparel Art has a 23% review rate, and this product has 812 reviews. So we can estimate it's had around 3,400 sales, give or take. And that's a load of sales. That's really good. And we can learn a lot from this design as it's clearly doing really well. So for argument's sake, just to see if I'm right, I'm going to open up Allura, which is an app that tracks sales amongst other things. And what do you know? 3,408 sales, so pretty much spot on. This little formula genuinely works, and I just saved you $29 a month. Now, even though this takes a little bit longer doing this research manually, it teaches you so much about what works and what doesn't work, rather than just relying on a robot to feed you numbers that you don't really understand. I would always recommend opting in for the manual approach because you learn so much more. Right, so at this point, you know how to identify designs that have got a lot of sales. Even if they're not your designs, that is flipping awesome. The fact that we can identify those designs is great. And we now have an example design that we can use. We don't even need to worry about having bestsellers ourselves. I told you, if you just stuck with me, I'll show you how to find those bestsellers. So you don't need to have any bestsellers yourself, right? What's the next step? Well, the next step is actually adapting and not stealing. Adapting. We don't want a pixel for pixel copy here. That won't get us anywhere. It will just, piss a lot of people off. And if we're going to do this, we may as well do it properly. Right, so there's a few ways to do this next step, and I'm going to show you one of the ways in this video, but note that there are many different and amazing ways to do it, and I'm not going to say there's the right way or the wrong way. There's just lots of different ways. What we're going to do is we're going to put this design into ChatGPT, and we're going to ask it to describe it for us using this prompt. Describe this design for me in great detail and give me a prompt I can use in another AI tool. And this will give us a great start to go on, as you can see. There's a couple of things that we would need to change, such as we're not trying to make this exact design, as we just said. We're trying to adapt it to find another winner, right? So things that we are taking note of are the colors used, the fonts used, the styling of the graphics, the placement of the whole design, the style of the humor they've gone for. And once we realize what we're actually attempting here, we can adapt the prompt example it's given us so that we can make something different and maybe even something better. Right, so this is the prompt it's given us. We need to change things like the cat from holding a white coffee mug labeled coffee with steam rising. We need to replace that with something else unique, obviously. We need to change the text at the top and the bottom to maybe read a different phrase. And those are the two major things I would say that we need to change. So this is the actual prompt, and you can see we've got a cute beige cat with closed eyes, a satisfying smile, wearing a cozy blue scarf, holding a white coffee mug. So we're going to change that, right? The phrase, I like cats and coffee, and at the bottom, and maybe 3 people, we might change that as well, right? So now we kind of need to find a similar humor type of design. And for this, you can use our tool called the Phrase Genie. This is a tool that we've built. It's in our design community called the Design Hub, and it is an amazing tool. It's a AI tool that we built based on, well, we use ChatGPT as the base of it, and it's based on thousands and thousands of winning phrases. So rather than coming up with shower ideas, what I like to call them, coming up with ideas in the shower, these designs, these phrases, I should say, are actually based off of winning phrases, off of adapting winning phrases. It's a brilliant tool, right? We use it to generate literally tens of thousands of dollars at this point. So after spending a bit of time thinking up some ideas, we have a few contenders with similar humor that would work for this specific design. We could go for something very similar, but just do a different kind of niche, such as I like cats and cameras instead of I like cats and coffee. That could work. I could also try something completely different, like I shoot cats, not like that, right? 2 possible ideas that I've got here. And as I said, this Phrase Genie was flipping awesome. I really, really highly recommend giving it a whirl if you can. Right, so now that we have a phrase, right, we have an overall style, we have a graphic. It's pretty obvious as to what the graphic is going to be. It's going to be a cat taking a picture, right? So let's adapt the prompt and see what we can make. So this is the new prompt, and we've just basically changed it to say a cute beige cat with one eye closed, a satisfying smile, wearing a cozy blue scarf, holding a camera and taking a picture. So slightly different. And then with the words, we've said the top needs to read I like cats and cameras instead of cats and coffee, and then the bottom is the same. And this is what Midjourney created. I'll be honest, it's a working progress. The text needs to be fully redone because Midjourney just doesn't seem to be able to get that right. But the concept is there, right? I'll admit the cat is a little bit too detailed for my liking, right? And it's missed the mark a little bit, so I will try that again. And worst case, I'll just have to get the old pen and paper out, right? Just draw something. But I know not everyone can do that. So let's just try another AI tool and see if we can kind of get this design to be a little bit better without having to rely on our own artistic abilities. Oh, also, note that we don't technically need to use AI for this process at all. We can find graphics on Etsy or Creative Fabrica, or we can remake elements, we can redraw them by ourselves as well. But obviously, I'm trying to make this process as easy as possible for you. And I'm trying to show you exactly what we did. So here's ChatGPT, exactly the same prompt. ChatGPT has pretty much nailed the concept. We've adapted a design, we've stuck with a similar humor, and we've made something based on a winning design, but with a different graphic, a different phrase. And, we could technically adapt it further. We can change colors and all of that. But I mean, how cool is this? It's really done it perfectly. The cat is perfect. The styling is perfect. It's changed the text color from being stark white to a color closer to the cat tone, which is funny because it's actually even better than the original. And this is why I've been using ChatGPT so heavily the last few weeks. It's simply outperforming everything else, right? Now, personally, I would change this a little bit more, but for the most part, this has done an excellent job. It's done an amazing job of adapting a winning design. And if we want to go for an entirely different phrase, we could do that too. And this is what it would look like. Also looks really, really good. Now, the key takeaway of this design are the colors, the font, the placement, the cat graphic style, and of course, the humor behind the design. And it's done that all pretty much perfectly. So why did I make this video, and why did I make it now specifically? Well, we have a design that's selling over 300 times a month comfortably. It's an amazing, amazing design. And on a recent design session that I did this exact process. I asked it to help define the design, and then I created a new design, which is now outperforming the original in monthly sales. It's wild. It's a simple concept like this being able to generate tens of thousands of designs. This really basic concept of just describing and then adapting a design is able to do so much for your business. It's really, really cool. So hopefully you can take this really simple process and start creating best-selling designs that are proven concepts that will do so much better. And of course, if you want to speed up the process, if you want to streamline this entire process, if you want even more advice like this, even more live calls and training and systems and processes like I'm talking about in this video, then definitely consider checking out the Design Hub, which is our design community. There's quite a few hundred people in there right now, and people are producing incredible designs with the training, with the live calls, with the personalized feedback. People share their designs all the time, and me or one of the other expert coaches or anyone in the community shares their thoughts. It's a really awesome collaborative community, and I love it. So if you do want to take this business really seriously, you want to take it a step further, and you want extra help to really, really ensure that you're able to create really good designs that get more sales, then check out the community. The link will be down below, and that's where you'll also be able to see the Phrase Genie tool. So yeah, check it out. It's awesome.